Detective Comics 23.3, aka Scarecrow, written by Peter Tomasi, art by Zyman Kudransky. So, Scarecrow, for those of you not following the main story, was one of the first people who was actually brought into the secret society, and he was tasked with going out and recruiting other people. So he kind of feels like he's in the upper echelon there. But regardless, this is set kind of further ahead, apparently after an issue or two of Forever Evil Arkham War, I think it's called. I could be wrong. But regardless, we see, a guy screaming. He's been exposed to fear toxin. Scarecrow's talking about it, being like, oh, I love the smell of fear in the morning. And he shows that he is currently in a completely frozen part of town. Turns out that all of the people who were in Arkham Asylum have taken over Gotham piecemeal. Everyone has been divvied up the town. It is led by new Mayor Penguin, who is determined where everything will be, and Scarecrow has made his way into Mr. Freeze's part of town. And we see that he has a goon named Hudson, Scarecrow does, who was tasked with finding Mr. Freeze and bringing him over to Scarecrow. However, Mr. Freeze has frozen him and is saying, hey, why are you in my area, Scarecrow? And he's like, oh, hey, don't want to step on any toes. I'm just here to deliver a message. I'm totally cool. And they talk to each other as like scientists, and they're saying like, ah, yes, your free stuff is beautiful. And he's like, oh, well, your fear toxin's not that bad either. So at that point, he basically says like, yeah, here's the thing. There's news coming out of Blackgate that they are basically mounting an armed rebellion, and they will be coming after Gotham and all of us who have divvied up the city. So I just want to know, like, on behalf of the secret society, we can't really let that stand. We can't let them disrupt our new order. So are you in if they try to launch something? Are you good to come with you? And he's basically like, yeah, here's the thing. I guess so. Sure, I'll be in if you really need me. Mr. Freeze is like, yeah, why not? And he says, yeah, all right, just you've used fear toxin on some of my guys. When are they going to snap out of it? And he's like, oh, they'll be snapped out of it in like an hour. And he's like, cool, that's about how long it'll take your guy to fall. And he's like, all right, well, bye. So Mr. Freeze is in. He waits for Hudson to thaw and then starts making his way across town. And we see they explain, oh, yeah, so many things have changed since the crime syndicate took over. We've divvied up this city, and, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of the crazies like the rest of them in Arkham. No, I'm a scientist. I just want to see how this fear toxin stuff works. And after all, I couldn't be crazy because the secret society entrusted recruitment to me, and I've been handing out their silver coins like crazy. So at that point, we see he makes his way over to the Riddler's district, where apparently he had just taken over the public library, and he walks in and he's like, hey, Riddler, got a few riddles for you. And Riddler just immediately is like, swims, a joke, and they're in. Those are the answers to your riddles. You're stunningly predictable, Scarecrow. And he's like, yeah, sorry, it's not really my forte. Anyway, just wanted to have a little chat with you. And he's like, oh, I already know why you're here. It's because of Arkham versus Blackgate, right? That's the whole reason you want me here. Well, here's the thing. I know my place in this. I'm not here. I'm not one of the crazies like those in Arkham. I am a respectable man who just happened to be in Arkham. So, no, I will not be joining your fight, but I won't help on the Blackgate side either. I will be neutral like Switzerland, because Switzerland survives. And Scarecrow's like, all right, fair enough, and shakes his hand and says goodbye. But then as they're leaving, Riddler's like, oh, wait, hold on, Scarecrow, I have a riddle for your goon here, Hudson. Hey, Hudson, what's here today and gone tomorrow? And Hudson's like, I don't know. He's like, yeah, you will. So they leave, they make their way out. But Riddler does give a little bit of a hint that something else larger is going on, something bigger is happening, and Scarecrow needs to look into it. So at that point, they make their way over to Poison Ivy's area. They hang around for a little bit, but Poison Ivy just doesn't show up. So he starts to pick her flowers, saying like, if this is anything's going to get her, it's going to be this. And then all of a sudden they're bum rushed by this guy. And apparently this is Hudson's cousin, who's from Blackgate. And the whole reason they know about the Blackgate plot is because Hudson got it from this cousin and then shanked him, so he died. However, he didn't die. He's now currently roided up on venom, and he's trying to attack them. And as he's trying to attack them, all of a sudden a manhole cover flies off. Killer Croc jumps out and immediately just tears the guy's throat out. It says nobody messes with Killer Croc. And so he steps up, talks to Scarecrow, and he's like, Scarecrow, what are you doing here? He's like, I came to talk to Poison Ivy, man. What are you doing here? He's like, I just came up to take care of this guy. By the way, Croc, are you cool with joining the Arkham crew when it comes to war? He's like, I'm not a part of this at all. I'm doing my own thing over in Batwoman, and also apparently I'm going to be getting my own tie-in next week, so don't bother me. I'm doing my own thing. Bye. And he jumps back down on the sewer. He's like, all right, fair enough. Poison Ivy then shows up, and he's like, Scarecrow, what are you doing in my area? And he's like, oh, just thought I'd come here. I was asking, Riddler was saying something was going on, and then Killer Croc said that he gave up his piece of land to somebody, but he wouldn't say who. So judging by the Venom guy there, I'm going to go ahead and put out that we have a Bane problem coming up. And Poison Ivy's like, yeah, and what do I care? And just like, well, your area, your whole thing is plants, right? And she's like, yeah. It's like, well, Ultraman blocked out the sun, so it's eternal darkness. Plants don't really survive well in darkness. And she's like, yeah, I've noticed. Thanks, Scarecrow. And he's like, well, here's the thing. We believe that underneath of Blackgate, there is a new type of generator that is not connected to the grid that's still running. It's the one that's keeping all the Talons frozen from Court of Owls. You could use that, and apparently it's strong enough generators that it could get a greenhouse that's like 10 city blocks in size. So if you're in on the side of Arkham when it comes to our battle against Blackgate, then we will be happy to give that to you. And it's like, oh, okay, well, why does the Secret Society care about this? And it's like, oh, they just want to be on the side of the winners, and I want to be on the winning side as well. So will you join us? And Poison Ivy's like, yeah, sure. So finally, we get the answer to Riddler's riddle to Hudson, which is what's here today, gone tomorrow. It's Hudson. Scarecrow apparently promised Hudson that he would cure him of his fear of heights. So Scarecrow dangles him over the edge of the building and says, it's exposure therapy. Let's see how it works. And drops him off the edge. And Hudson dies. So then Scarecrow looks over the city and he's like, we got a war coming on. And when all of this is said and done, when all the obstacles have fallen, Gotham City will be mine. And we look over the entire landscape of Gotham, and we see that each of the skyscrapers has basically been overrun with a different villain's motif. So there's a ventriloquist one, there's a Poison Ivy one, there's a Mr. Freeze one, there's a bunch of them. That's it. It just ends with that. I like the issue in the fact that it gives world building for the upcoming miniseries of, I believe it's Arkham War. I could be wrong on that. But I really wanted this to be something Scarecrow related, I guess, if that makes sense. Simon Kudranski does such fantastic, dark and foreboding art. It would have been great to see the fear toxin take effect with him on the art. But in the end, all we got was them walking around the city and just talking to a bunch of Batman's villains saying, hey, we're all going to band together for this little war thing happening. And honestly, I feel a little bit disappointed in that. I really wanted to see some fantastic art from Kudranski, but unfortunately, it's just not meant to be. In terms of the story they did tell, it was okay. It is just kind of feeling like, hey, everybody, check out the Arkham War thing. It is called Arkham War. Great. Sorry, I just noticed that printed in the book here. It's a nice little lead-in, I guess, but it also feels completely unnecessary because it could all just be explained by, hey, one panel of the guys from Blackgate are coming and they've got their own army built up. Someone's taking care of that. We have to fight as Arkham. That's like 3 panels, max. Instead, it was an entire issue here, which frankly did not feel necessary, especially as it feels like half of the people they met are not joining in on the fight. So that's a bit strange. But regardless, I'm just rambling at this point. I would say this is probably, it's a 6.5, and that's disappointing because I do really like the art. I really do, but it can't push it past that point of it feeling like an unnecessary tie-in that's just setting up a different miniseries. So yeah, sad to say.